Why is it that every time I come to do a car video at the moment it is raining outside? It's a disaster. Right, what's happening guys and girls? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the interior of a Volkswagen T-Roc R line. Now, I haven't had a Volkswagen for a very, very long time. In fact, my first car was a Volkswagen. I grew up with them. My mum had a Mark IV GT TDI. My dad's had them over the years. And to be honest, I've always thought they're a really, really solid car. Good value for money, good tech, really strong. But it's not a car brand that I've actually visited since I was probably 17, 18 years old. Fast forward, the last car that I drove was the Golf R, which was manically fast and handled really, really well. Recently, I've been looking at their SUV offering. They've got the Taygo, T-Roc, Tiguan, Touareg. Is that all of them? Sounds like the Volkswagen Kardashians family, don't they? But these cars, I've been seeing how much you can get for your money. Like, if you look at a base Discovery Sport, the same price, you can get a fully loaded Touareg R-Line. Everything, all the bells and whistles that you want, and the nice black styling pack with the R-Line. So today I'm taking a look at the brand new T-Roc R line. See what it's like. It's a slightly smaller offering. It's a 1.5 litre, 150 brake horsepower. And we're going to take a little look on the outside of it. She's a super little cute, smart looking machine. When I first saw it, when I was coming into the showroom, I thought, you know what? I really actually like that. So let's take a look outside. I'm going to get soaked. Great for you guys because you get to see the car. Bad for me because although I have tried to glue my hair down as much as I can today, we're about to get rained on. The T-Roc R line, finished in ascot grey. This one with the R line, you get the lovely blacked up bits here and there, obviously around the grille. You can see we've got the 17-inch rims here, which are blacked out as well. You can see as you're coming down the car, it looks super modern. It's had a bit of a refresh over the model before, but I actually really like this. The one thing I wasn't too, I don't know, sure on was this little bit here, which kind of looks like that stuff called what's it called, Dynamite or whatever it was. We used to put this everywhere in our cars when we wanted to cover up, you know, horrible wood trims when we that you had in the Mark IV. Not too sure about this, but I do like the way it kind of all flows in. You've got the black roof rails here, black roof. It's just a really tidy looking car. I like the way all of the new sort of Volkswagen, Audis, they're all kind of nice and angular. And look at the back here, this has had a refresh as well with the little tailpipes. I mean, obviously this is a 1.5, so I'm quite enjoying the fact that they've tried with the sort of quadrant shape tailpipes there, but we all know there's probably a couple of pea shooters. But to be honest, on the whole, this is a good looking machine. I really like the ascot grey colour. It kind of reminds me of the Porsche Crayon, do you think? I think, anyway. These cars actually come in 3 trim levels. So you've obviously got the entry level Life, which has a high level of standard equipment. I know that you get the Matrix, the LED lights here, like these are very cool. But then you're going up to the Style and the R line being the one which is the most sporty and dynamic edge, they say. Oh my God, it's actually getting way worse with the rain now. But one thing I do like, a little bit of a flashback to the old days, like this little tailgate boot latch here. These were the ones that they had on the Mark V Golf years ago. And if you had a Mark IV Golf, what you wanted to do was go to the scrapyard, find yourself a tailgate of a Mark V, cut this whole locking system out and actually weld that into the back of the Mark IV. And that was like the top dog modification of the time. So it's kind of fun seeing that back again. But as you can see, might as well take a bit of respite from the rain. The sea really got quite good boot space. In comparison, when I had the 110 Defender for a while, this has got so much more space. And I like the fact that it's got the boot button there so you don't have to bother pulling that down for yourself. To be honest, for the money, I think that they really do stand out. They are starting at $34,000 for the R line, and obviously a little bit less, $25,000 if you choose the lesser spec. Let's go inside because I tell you what, I am struggling. As you're coming into the inside of the car, this steering wheel is directly lifted outside of the Golf, so this is an upgrade here. I do quite like the seats. I never really liked the seats in the Golf R, but these again, it's kind of following on with this sporty design, and it's actually with the old Dynamite, whatever it's called, but it's sort of the carbon effect on the seats. I don't love it, but I don't hate it, you know, like it just kind of all fits in. Now the one thing that I would think normally is that they use normally a bit of a cheaper plastic on the dashboard, but I'm quite pleasantly surprised to see that they've got this, what feels nicer than just some of the cheaper plastics, which you can feel here. This is just looks like it's straight out of a Volkswagen Crafter. But I'm not a big fan of the big slabs of plastic everywhere, but I actually think this is quite nice. One thing that I didn't get on with in the Golf R was the fact that the buttons were all touchscreen, but they had sort of like a slide panel here. These are actually kind of better because they've got the buttons on the side, a little bit more easier to use. You've got your Apple CarPlay and the digital cockpit in here as well. I kind of like the climatics. They've still got a few little slidey things here. Is it a slidey thing? Oh God, what have I done? What have I done? Look, at the end of the day, you'd get used to it. It's all very simple to use. Little USB-Cs here and your little park brake here as well. It's actually very comfortable. I kind of like the gloss black accents as well. It's a very comfortable car. There is also ample space in the back, as you can see. I had a little sit in the back there earlier. It's quite comfortable. You've got good leg room. You know, you can fit anybody that you want in the back there as well. And if you really needed to, you could probably fit a dog. Could you fit a dog? Well, if it was a pug, yeah, you could definitely fit a dog. Seats here. Everything is nice and electric, but I think it is just a pull bar. Oh no, it isn't. It isn't a pull bar. We're fully electric, lads. There we go. So basically, you've got all your mod cons for around 34 grand, which after we looked at the A1, I kind of think this is a better value proposition. Next thing, we're going to take this car for a drive because it is a small 1.5 litre. It's only 150 brake horsepower. Again, very, very similar to the A1. But is it going to be a little bit or feel a bit sluggish with a car this size? We shall find out. Hopefully at some point I can get my hands on a T-Roc R, because that's obviously the flagship, the most powerful one that they've got of this model. And that's got 300 brake horsepower coming from a 2 litre turbocharged engine. I think that would be quite fun. But day to day, this is the more practical option. Let's take her for a cruise. It is such a miserable day today, and I have just been, as usual, lurking in an industrial estate trying to make this video. I swear, the life of a YouTuber is not glamorous, my friends. So this is actually going to be a really important... Oh, I definitely put the steering wheel heater on. My hands are going to be sweating in a second. This is actually going to be a really important model for Volkswagen because they have a lineup of 9 SUVs and they've got more coming. Plus, this T-Roc was introduced in 2017, and at this point they've sold over 1 million of them. Like, that's a huge win for Volkswagen. And you know what they're like? They like to create a model, absolutely spank it to bits and sell loads of them, i.e. the Golf. So for the T-Roc, this new updated version, it should actually be, you know, a winner for them. And to be honest, so far so good. I like the way it looks. Will I like the way it drives? As I said to you, it's a 1.5 litre, 150 brake horsepower. You can get a diesel one as well, which I think is 115 brake horsepower. But then obviously once you get up to the R, that's a 2 litre turbocharged engine, and that is 300 brake horsepower. That would actually be quite an interesting proposition. But as I said to you, today we are in the 150 brake horsepower. Here we go, Milton Keynes roundabouts test. Nice. I've got the DSG one here today. They did actually offer me the manual one because they were like, okay, do you want manual or DSG? Let's be realistic. If I was going to get one of these, I'd want one in DSG because it's just good for day-to-day driving. It's got paddle shift on it. Didn't know that until I had to shift up just then. Looking at the paddle shifts though, they are really small and kind of, yeah, feel really plasticky. But as far as like a little bit of poke to it, that was absolutely fine. And realistically, if you're going to be using this as a daily car, let's drop her down. Oh, actually, we've got the different drive modes, don't we? What mode are we in? Sport. Here we go. We're in sport now. Let's see how she gets on. Not bad. I won't lie. We need to get past this lorry, I'll tell you something. Whee! She is actually nippy enough. I was about to get squidged there if I hadn't got myself through, and we flew through. I mean, realistically, these days with new cars, it is kind of hard to critique them because they're normally pretty good. You're looking for the minutiae at this point. Everything has been tweaked, everything has been, you know, if you want a black pack, you can have it. If you want it to be this, you can have it. If you want it to be that, they're kind of actually killing the aftermarket because they make the cars from factory so good. Right now, I can't complain. She's nippy, she's quick, I'm nice and safe and warm from the rain. The seats are comfortable, it's got all of the mod cons that I could need. It's got the little Beats by Dre sound system. I like it. The one thing I will say about this car is it is infinite in its options. You've got 5 different engine options, 14 different wheel options, 9 different body colours, 3 different roof colours. Is that all of it? And then you can have 4Motion, or you can have front wheel drive, which is available on the more sportier engines. You can have DSG, you can have manual, 3 different trim levels. Did I say roof colours? 3 different roof colours as well? There is so much here for somebody who wants something which is practical and quite stylish. I do quite like the roof line on these. It's not a big car, but it feels like you've got plenty of space in here. As a practical daily runaround, this is a really viable option. Oh God, I've done it again with the hands on the steering wheel. That would be my only thing that kind of winds me up about Volkswagen cars, is the fact that it's got the buttons on the steering wheel. But this is something we can live with. It's not the end of the world. I'm jumping in and out of this. I think by the time you get used to it and have one of these for a while, you'd probably, you know, actually manage to put your hands on the proper place on the steering wheel. But beggars can't be choosers. I'm just popping in for the day. I do quite enjoy the way it drives. It's solid. I think that's something that we all come to love and expect with Volkswagen. It's a very solid car. The materials feel, you know, durable, and they feel quality. I remember in my Mark IV Golf, I remember sort of patting the dashboard in it and being like, this has got a really solid feel about it. My dad wanted me to have a Volkswagen because it was like, you're gonna crash because you're a dickhead on the road at 17. And sure enough, I did crash. I actually launched the thing off a curb and snapped the hub off. Let's not talk about it. But the cars were built solid, and it's good to see that they're still built the same way today. Volkswagen hasn't changed in all the years that I've known it. It always offers something which is practical, good value for money, solid. You can't beat it. German engineering. I'm all about it. So what do I think of the T-Roc? Look, this is an important car for Volkswagen. 40% of their market is made up of SUVs. So these 9 SUVs that they've already got in the family, and they've got more in the pipeline, they do exactly what they say on the tin. Good value, comfortable, and you get loaded up with optional extras. And in comparison for the price bracket, just let's look at the A1 Sportback, for example. That was kind of like what felt like base spec, even though it was an S line, and that was 30 grand. For 34, you've got heated steering wheels, you've got gloss black accents everywhere, you've got all of the interface that you had. You can have your Apple CarPlay, all the rest of it. I just think that it's a really good value proposition, and I think it's a tidy looking little car. Like, what more can you want? Orders for these are open from March, and with the whole chip shortage in the world, you know, car dealers and manufacturers in general are saying that you could be waiting up to a year at the moment with all of this going on. These are looking around a lead time of about 4 to 6 months. They're hoping to have all of that backlog sorted by the end of 2022, and these are going to be getting moving pretty quickly. So if you want something that you can get quite quickly, I mean, don't quote me on this. If you order one, you don't get it till 2025. This is not my fault, okay? And with that, I'm going to take it back to Volkswagen, and I'm going to ask them very kindly if I can have the R version of it very, very soon. Right, guys, thanks so much for joining me on the journey. I'm going to try and not take myself out coming out with this parking spot here. Right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next video. And yeah, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.